Happy Wednesday, friends. There's a word that I've been thinking a lot about lately. It's called insignificance. Now, there's two main things that I've learned from insignificance lately. The first is it's not spelt with a T. No matter how many times I try to type it with a T, the red squiggly lines always remind me, nope, even though it sounds like it should be typed with a T, it only is spelt with C's. Anyway, the second and more important thing that I've been learning about insignificance is that it's really important. There's a guy I want to tell you about, and maybe you've heard of him. His name is Edward Kimball. And Edward Kimball was a salesman. He was a dry goods salesman. And the fact that I just used the word dry goods means that it was a long time ago. He lived a long time ago. Edward Kimball was kind of talked into teaching the Sunday school class at his church. Now, Edward wasn't a significant guy, and the only reason we know his name is because that teenage boy that he led to Christ, his name was Dwight. Or, as we know him better today, D.L. Moody. D.L. Moody went on to be the most impactful evangelist of the 19th century, and one man who heard D.L. preaching and gave his life to God as a result was a guy named J. Wilbur Chapman. J. Wilbur Chapman went on to share the gospel with a guy named Billy Sunday. Billy Sunday preached the gospel relentlessly and led another man named Mordecai Ham to Christ. Mordecai Ham held gospel crusades, and at one of his gospel crusades was another guy named Billy. This guy's last name was Graham. Billy Graham. Yeah, that Billy Graham. And all of this leads back to small, insignificant Edward Kimball. I hope you get my point here. There is no person and no act that is insignificant in God's economy. We are all called to share the gospel. And while we may not feel like, oh, there's great, huge fruits, we never know what God can do. We never know who God is impacting through us. We never know what our faithfulness will yield. Until eternity, that is. So I'm calling all of us to be okay with our insignificance and allow God to use us on a daily basis. Whether we're in the grocery store line or at our work or with family or with friends or teaching a teenage boy Sunday school class or teaching a pre-K Sunday school class. Whatever it is, let's be faithful with sharing the good news gospel and let's allow God to wow us with the results.